And when I came to NIH, I was so lucky that people who were the giant at that time, I had known them since my childhood. तो डॉक्टर एलएम खान को when I joined तो सर ही बोलता था और मौका निकालने पर जब अकेले रहते थे तो चाचा बोला करता था क्योंकि बचपन से वही बोलने की आदत थी। तो आज उसी रिश्ते से सर इतना जो बोले वो केवल उनका प्यार था, एक चाचा का अपने बेटे के प्रति जो प्यार होता है वो है। मुझे कहा गया है, I have been told to speak on Allen's keynote in reference to a particular medicine. So what I did was to select Conium maculatum as the medicine. Conium maculatum, as we all know, is also known as the balm of Gilead. Allen has introduced Conium as the balm of Gilead. Balm of Gilead, when I was searching for what exactly the balm of Gilead means, then I found that it has a reference in Bible. And Gilead is also a place. And today, the picture that you see here is in a Jerusalem museum. And this is what is known as the balm of Gilead. Gilead is a group of islands. And this balm of Gilead is known as something which will cure everything. Whatever remains to be cured, it is a panacea. So Allen has drawn a reference and he has given an analogy with balm of Gilead and Conium maculatum. That Conium maculatum is at par with balm of Gilead. It can cure all disease. It can remove all the ailments, and it works in every sphere of human body and mind. So it is my honor to be part of this wonderful endeavor that Dr. Khan is taking, which his very able son, Muawiyah, let us, before coming to balm of Conium maculatum of balm of Gilead, let us give a brief introduction about who was Dr. S.C. Allen. Because our main intention here is to study Allen's keynote. And in that reference, we will also discuss how to study Allen's keynote. So as S.C. Allen was a homeopath, and besides this Allen's keynote, he had many other major works where he has given exhaustive symptomatology. So let us not think that S.C. Allen was a person who talked only of keynote or only of few symptoms. But he was a person who has given exhaustive symptomatology, especially in his Materia Medica of the Nosode, which was published in 1910. Especially noteworthy is his Therapeutics of Intermittent Fever, which was published in 1879. So these are some of the works that was done by Allen. But who exactly was Allen? Before he became S.C. Allen as we know him, Allen was a homeopath who used to prescribe more than one medicine at a time. In his own words, he is saying that I used to give more than one medicine, 2 or 3 or 4 medicines, or sometimes these medicines were given in alteration. And then he came to know about Adolf Liebig. And there, Adolf Lippe was claiming somewhere in an article, he was claiming that he used to treat diphtheria, pneumonia, bronchitis, or severe diseases like that with one single medicine and sometimes with one single dose. So a person who was groomed into polypharmacy, he found this as very challenging. And it was very difficult for him to accept that when I am finding it so difficult to treat with so many medicines, how can a person give wonderful result, curative result with more than one single medicine, and that too sometimes one single dose. So like any other intelligent person, what he did was, he went to Adolf Lippe to really see firsthand what this person is doing. Adolf Lippe says that if he could visit a case of diphtheria, he means Adolf Lippe. So if Adolf Lippe says that I can visit a case of diphtheria before anybody has a chance to spoil it, then I can cure the disease with one remedy and sometimes with one dose. This which was not acceptable to Allen. So he went to Lippe, attended his clinic, started attending his clinic, became his disciple, and saw with his own eyes the result that Lippe was doing with one single medicine. He followed every case very thoroughly because he was ultimately trying to make himself believe that single medicine can work. And then when he was convinced, then he saw that Lippe clears up serious cases of illness over and over, and that with one single prescription. His wonderful about Lippe, Allen is saying that his wonderful knowledge of our materia medica, no man could excel him, enable him to grasp this particular feature in cure in which perhaps his superior and other departments failed. So this was very much challenging to him. And since then, after becoming a disciple of Lippe, he became a faithful follower of Hahnemann. He started following Hahnemann in the sense that he started prescribing in single medicine and many a time in single dose. And the result that we see today is his Allen's keynote. Allen's keynote, as we all know, is one of the most frequently read book, used book, and people are basing their practice on Allen's keynote. Sometimes people have given a separate name calling it Calcutta School of Homeopathy or Bengal School of Homeopathy. But let me share with you that there is nothing called Calcutta School of Homeopathy. There cannot be anything called Bengal School of Homeopathy. There is only one school of homeopathy, and that is Hahnemann School of Homeopathy. People do not, in Bengal or in Calcutta, people do not practice something which is different. What happens and what gave it a unique character for people who are practicing in Bengal or those who have passed out from here is because the way it is taught in Calcutta Homeopathic College and later on in other colleges. The materia medica part especially, it is based on Allen. I was fortunate enough to be a disciple of Dr. S.K. Dubey. And I have seen him basing his practice on Allen's keynote. I have seen him reading and making us read in classes, in his clinic, or while traveling with him, his Allen's keynote. So what we are going to discuss here is Conium maculatum. And we are going to study it mainly from Allen's keynote. How I have planned today's lecture, let me share with you that first. What we are going to study today is Allen's Conium maculatum. And then we are going to take inputs from other books, because it will be very wrong to say that Allen is the only and final book. Of course, Allen is the very important book, and it is a book on which you can make your base. You can start your study, but then you have to take input from different sources. And then this is how you enrich your knowledge of mathematics. So this is Allen's keynote from Conium maculatum from Allen's keynote. सर थोड़ा सा माफी कर दीजिएगा, इस तरह से बोलने का कभी आदत नहीं है। हमेशा लोगों को सामने बैठे हुए देख के बोलने का आदत है, तो थोड़ा टेंशन ज्यादा हो रहा है, नर्वसनेस ज्यादा हो रहा है, क्योंकि एक मशीन है और मशीन के सामने बोल रहे हैं। बट एनीवे, आई विल ट्राई माय बेस्ट. सो इन एलन about conium maculatum, he is starting to talk with this first paragraph. And while discussing, we will also learn how to study Allen's keynote. So in the first paragraph, he is saying that this is the balm of Gilead. Balm of Gilead means this is a balm, a panacea which cures every disease. But then he is limiting, Allen is limiting Conium maculatum and saying that this is a balm of Gilead or panacea, but specially for diseases of old maids and women during and after climacteric. So this you have to understand that people who study Allen's keynote or people who base their study on Allen's keynote, so whenever they study a word or a phrase or a sentence, then with that sentence, different type of medicines comes in their mind. Homeopathy, coming to a simillimum, is nothing else but a process of permutation and combination. So when we are reading balm of Gilead for diseases of old maid and women during and after climacteric. So when women during and after climacteric, so in the mind, different medicines should come which are applicable for women during climacteric and after climacteric. This comparison is very important, because Allen, in the first line of his preface, he is saying that a student of Mathematics, his whole life is nothing else but the study of comparison of each and every medicine with other medicine having same or similar keynote. So when we are saying women during and after climacteric, so medicine should come in your mind like lachesis, like sulfur, like creosote, and so many medicines. And not only these names should come, but the exact symptoms should come. Then only it is worthwhile. The more we read, the more number of medicines come in our mind. So this is a balm of Gilead, especially for diseases of old and women during and after climacteric. So what are the diseases a lady suffers from during climacteric or after climacteric? There are mental changes, there are physical changes, and all these changes are covered by Conium maculatum. Now, then in further on, Allen has described those symptoms. When we read this first paragraph of Allen, that this is a medicine for climacteric, then it also comes in our mind what other people have said about Conium maculatum. Kent is saying that this is a medicine which is a very, very deep antisoric medicine. And so deep antisoric that in Kent's word, it establishes a state of disorder in economy that is so far-reaching and so long-lasting that it disturbs almost every tissue or cell of the body. So you can understand the efficacy or deeds of Conium maculatum. We all know Conium maculatum, or commonly known as hemlock, it was given as a poison to Socrates because of his thought, his philosophy was not acceptable to the people who were ruler at that time. So Socrates was asked, he was imprisoned, and then he was given. As was the custom at that time, the people were given poison and they used to take it. So the poison that was used at that time was hemlock. So Socrates took it. And many of his followers came to meet him, and in front of them, he took this hemlock poison and took it. And they were recording whatever Socrates was saying, or whatever the symptoms was observed. And all these records were later on published by Plato. Very interesting to note that Plato himself was not present during his poisoning. He got all this information from his other followers who were there. And they were describing that initially Socrates was moving about in the prison when he took the poison. And then slowly his limbs started becoming thicker and heavier and heavier. And then this paralysis, that ensuing paralysis, was slowly coming up and up and up. And then he was finding it difficult to breathe. And that at what point of time, one of the jail person, he came and gave a pinch and asked him, are you able to feel it? So not only the sensory paralysis, but also the locomotor paralysis was ensuing from below upward. And ultimately, this is how Socrates died. So about the same medicine, which ultimately killed Socrates by affecting a paralysis which is affecting the whole body, Kent is saying that it is such a deep acting medicine that it affects every tissue of the body. And about this, Hahnemann is saying an adjective he has rarely used, that this is one of the most important antipsoric medicines. But he has given one warning, that this remedy must often be preceded by some other antipsoric medicine. Like lycopodium, if you remember Allen's keynote, then in Allen's keynote in the relationship part, Allen has given a sentence where he is saying that lycopodium is to be rarely given as the first prescription. Unless we are very sure about the lycopodium, he is asking us not to use lycopodium. But he is telling us that some other antipsoric should be given first. And the same way, Hahnemann in chronic disease, he is about conium, when he is writing about conium, then he is saying that it is a very deep acting and one of the best antipsoric, no doubt. But it is advisable that it should be preceded by some other antipsoric medicine because of the depth of conium maculatum, because of the severe pathology that it incorporates. So that has to be kept in mind whenever we are using conium maculatum, that if we are 100% sure, like lycopodium, we can use it as the first prescription. If not, let us give some other less deep acting antipsoric and then proceed with conium or lycopodium, as Allen has said. But about the medicine, while we are discussing the sphere of this, Boger has talked about, Boger again is a keynote based book, Boger Synoptic Game. And there he has talked about, given us some words which are full of meaning. He has said conium, about conium, he has said chronicity. It is a medicine which is so full of chronicity. Early senility and ascending paralysis. The heel part we will discuss later. very interestingly, Clark is saying Conium as the aconite of chronic disease. And he's discussing this which is used as the first medicine for acute disease, most widely used as the first medicine for acute conditions, especially in conditions of heart and arterial system. In same analogy, Conium is to be used in case of chronic disease. Conium is to be used whenever we are getting chronic or subacute inflammation with sanguineous engorgement of parenchymus induration. And not only this, about glandular involvement, about nerve disorders. It is as widely used in chronic disease as aconite is used in acute disease. So, this is the sphere which Allen has described in his first paragraph. So, in most of the places in Allen's keynote, when we are reading, then in the first paragraph, what we find is an introduction to the medicine. It tells us about the medicines, what the medicine exactly is about. So when he is saying that this is a medicine called balm of Gilead, then we get an idea that this is a medicine so widely used. And in the second paragraph, Allen says that it is specially for diseases of old men, old maids, old bachelors. Now see, in Allen, these every words are very important. Because in every word, जैसे हिंदी में बोलते हैं कि बूंद बूंद में सागर होता है, वैसे in Allen, every word contains an ocean of meaning. When he is saying that it is for diseases of old men, then that engulfs every disease, whether it is prostate problem, whether it is eye disorder, whether it is nervous disorder, whether it is mental problems, loneliness, moroseness, depression, all these problems, or sexual problems, all these problems of old men. This is a medicine which is going to go. Similarly, in old men, old bachelors, old men are persons who may be married, and old bachelors who have been not married. And then there is a particular body, there is a particular constitution, physical constitution, in which this medicine is specially suitable, which is rigid muscular fibers. Persons with light hair who are easily excited. Strong persons of sedentary habit. Now, while we're reading these words, different medicines should come in mind. When we are talking about rigid muscular fiber, the first medicine that should come in our mind is Bryennia alba, which also is lean thin but with rigid muscular fiber. And Conium has a similarity with the Bryennia because Conium maculatum, the symptoms come slowly, and Bryennia also symptoms come slowly. The diseases develop very slowly. So this comparison is very important when we are studying. So in the second paragraph, especially for diseases of old men, old maid, old bachelors with rigid muscular fiber, persons with light hair who are easily excited, strong persons of sedentary habit. This gives the uses of Conium maculatum, how it has to be used. And then let us see what other books has to say about this part. About the generalities, we are not going into particulars, we are just talking about generalities. Clark says women who have scanty menses. Now, this lady may not come to you for problem of menses. She can come to you with headache. She can come to you with any other reason. But when she gives a history of scanty menses, then medicine like Conium should come in our mind. There is another very interesting symptomatology of Allen about Conium. Cancerous and scrofulous person. Let us take one by one. Cancerous person. Cancerous person doesn't mean the person is suffering from cancer. Because about Conium, Boric is saying that this is the medicine for cancerous diathesis. And we all know what diathesis is. In a very simple way, diathesis means nothing else but proneness, tendency. So a person having rheumatic diathesis means that he has a tendency to suffer from rheumatism. A person having lithic acid diathesis means he has a tendency to suffer from diseases of lithic acid. So Conium, like creosote, like lacasis, like carcinosin, like sulfur, it is a medicine who, for a person who has a tendency to suffer from cancer. Means in comparison to other persons, he is more prone to suffer from cancer. Now, as we all know, that cancer is a disease which can affect any tissue. Then he is specifying that cancer of gland, that can be any gland. In female, it can be mammary gland or any of the nodes that we have, glandular nodes that we have. But it has to be, when we are reading further, that does not mean we should forget what has been written earlier. Now, who is this person? The person is who is having a rigid fiber. The person is who is having soric background. And person is who is having scrofulous diathesis. A scrofula, in words of Ken, somebody asked scrofula, what is scrofula? And Ken, he writes that when I was asked what is scrofula in a true Yankee style, I say, what is sora? So Kent is drawing a parallel line between scrofula and sora. So scrofula is nothing else but the tendency to have enlargement of the gland or affections of the gland on a soric base. So cancerous diathesis. Now what cancerous diathesis is, we all should know. Then only we can recognize a person and save a person from being affected before being affected by cancer. And as far as cancer is concerned, when it develops, then in Clark we find cancer of the lips or cancer of the tongue. These can be the sphere or cancer of the mammary gland that we already know. These are the sphere of conium maculosa. There are various discussions about which miasm the cancer covers. Now there cannot be a one-line answer. It does not depend upon the cancer. It depends upon the person who is affected by the cancer. So the base decides how the symptoms are going to be manifested, and that will decide which is the miasm it is covering. So going forward, then Allen is talking about some of the mental symptoms. The mental attitude of the person. This is a person who is basically a very depressed person. Old maid, old bachelors, old persons, who is having too much of depression, too much of sadness, don't want to work anything, very irritability. And in back of all this, we find that this person has a very typical tendency that in his mind, deep inside, somewhere, he is a person who is very afraid of loneliness, afraid of being alone, afraid of being left out, afraid that somebody will come, the robbers, etc. So Alan says no inclination for business or study, indolent, alsy, indifferent, takes no interest in anything. Now we have a medicine where the person is very indifferent. But the person is indifferent especially to those things which was of very much interest to the person. So that person can be a voracious reader, reading all type of books, and then suddenly has no interest in reading. Or that can be a lady who is very much involved in the works of family and taking care of every family members, and then one day she is totally indifferent to everything, the household, the wellness of the family members. She is totally indifferent, sapient. So that comparison, and here he is not interested in anything. No business, no study, nothing. Because here the reason is totally different. In Conium maculatum, what we find for aversion to work is that slowly and slowly a weakness is coming. Weakness of the mind, weakness of the body. And this weakness is so deep-rooted, so deeply affecting, that person doesn't want to work. Slightest of work is a great exercise to him. And that exercise, whether it is physical or mental, the person is unable to take that exercise. So he will avoid any work.
रिकॉर्ड वीडियो देख लो आजा तू आजा
Alan says, Hahnemann says that the person is more.
पेंसिल और कॉपी ले आओ.
The person is more inclined to be sad than cheerful. So as I was saying, what we have to do is we have to make the base with Alan and then go on adding more information. So Alan is saying that the person is having no inclination to work. And then Hahnemann is further elaborating that he is more sad than cheerful. You will rarely find a Conium maculatum very cheerful. He will be always sad, depressed, alone, easily affected by triples, tears, hypochondriac.
Subhas, continue.
जी वो थोड़ा और लोगों का म्यूट कर देंगे तो सर आवाज नहीं आएगी.
All people, please mute.
I'll request everybody to please mute. Yeah, thank you.
अच्छा बिल्कुल सो क्यों नहीं सो बिल्कुल हार्श होता है इससे पिंपल्स बढ़ सकते हैं. अब क्या करूं? ये है ना हिमालय.
Please mute.
फ्री है इसलिए हार्श नहीं. नीम और हल्दी के एंटीबैक्टीरियल गुण तो पिंपल्स है.
दीदी
पिंपल है तो सुख नहीं. सिर्फ हिमालय नीम फेस वॉश.
गुड मॉर्निंग. नो पापा.
क्यों?
यार समझ नहीं आता है. Let us Subhas continue.
हाँ सर, जी सर. So Hahnemann in his chronic disease is saying that not only she is sad, depressed, but there is certain level of hypochondriacity or oversensitiveness also there. So this oversensitiveness is making the person weeps easily. If the person hears anything moving, sentimental, emotional, then conium maculatum lady will be easily affected and will be in tears. And hypochondriac, dejection and indifferent, more so when taking a time, and especially there is a time. For conium maculatum, as far as the mental symptom is concerned, this loneliness, dejection, indifference, sadness is concerned. Like pulsatile afternoon or the first part of the evening is the time when all these affect. Mental part of conium is worst during that time. But there is very interesting part. The person has aversion to work. The person doesn't want to work. Is indifferent to everything. Doesn't want to talk or interact with anybody. But Clark gives a very interesting symptom. That person doesn't work but is aggravated from it. More better when the person is doing something or keeping himself or herself busy. Now here are some more interesting symptoms. Morose, easily vexed. And then we have a very interesting symptom, domineering. Now in one part there is a sadness, depression, melancholia, dejection, and then we have domineering. Domineering means a one who wants to dominate, like aurum metallica, like platinum. But this domineering character of conium, just if we pick the word domineering, then that will be injustice. This domineering part has to be understood when we are reading Allen's keynote, then it has to be understood in the whole phase that is described here. See, in Allen, if a sentence starts, then after every semicolon, there is a new symptom till next semicolon. So what if you can see on your screen, then you will find morose, easily vexed, two separate symptoms, and then we have domineering, quarrelsome, scolds will not be a contradiction. This has to be taken together. If we just pick up domineering, that will be not proper. We cannot understand conium. This domineering has to be understood in the light of quarrelsome, because see, there are other medicine like aurum metallicum, which is also domineering but is not quarrelsome. Like aurum metallicum, it is also domineering, but aurum metallicum never scolds. Aurum metallicum gives order. Platina never scolds, but platina through its behavior make you understand that I am the dominating person here. But here the person scolds. And this scolding is especially when there is slightest of contradiction. Because what I say, what I think is final. And this is happening in which case? This is happening in a person who is old, male or female. So an old person, because of it, he says that his wisdom with the old age is such that it now cannot be challenged. And anybody who is challenging this wisdom, anybody who is contradicting, he is scolding. And if the person is becoming domineering or scolding or is in quarrel with anybody, then this excitement causes mental depression. After after this excitement, after this quarrel, or after this episode of contradiction, the person will become worse because there is an excitement and it causes further mental depression. So this is how the words of the Allen, you have to know that where the words are like pearl of the same mala and where they had to be taken into separate. But this loneliness or want to avoid or want to be alone, that has a special characteristic, a special part to it. If we go to Kent's repertory, then we find there are huge number of medicines where the person is wanting, desiring to be in company. Patient where do not want to be alone. But the interesting thing of Conium is that the patient want to be alone and does not want to be alone, yet avoid society. So where suppose you go in a party or a marriage reception or something like that, so where will you find Conium maculatum? You will find Conium maculatum, calicarb, lycopodium sitting in a corner and brooding, but not going away, though they do not like this rush and humble jumble, but they do not want to go away. Even if they are in a house, they cannot be totally alone in the house. They want somebody around them. That somebody may not be visible, maybe in the next room, but they need somebody to be there. By the way, that reminds me, in that wedding reception, if we go and find that there is a person who is the center of attraction, and he is telling stories and anecdotes and is surrounded by different persons and they are all listening very attentively and are amused by his personality, that person has to be sulfur. Because sulfur always is the center of attraction. So, further Allen says, he's further describing this scrofulous part, and he's saying that glandular induration of stony hardness of mammy and testicle. But these are not like any mammy inflammation, mastitis, or fibroadenoma, or nothing like that, but these are of very serious nature. It is not simple like any other inflammation or enlargement of the testicle, but they are of a very serious nature. They have a cancerous tendency to develop into cancer. They are turning towards cancer. And if we get the history of injury, whether it is in mammy or in the testicle, and the symptoms has developed after that, then we are more sure about conium macula. There is a very interesting case given in Clark's dictionary about testicular pain. Those of us who say that homeopathy do not work in acute cases, Clark is describing a very severe injury to the testicle, and after that there is agonizing pain, and this agonizing pain after Conium 200 has relieved in 5 minutes. 5 minutes is enough to relieve this severe pain of testicle. That is what is the efficacy of homeopathy in acute case, provided we use it rationally. It is very ironic that homeopathy was discovered. Homeopathy got its name and fame by treating acute conditions. Hahnemann was able to control the scarlet fever, and that became the reason why we are facing so much of fear and difficulties, and many of us are trying to avoid treating acute conditions. So what is the nature of the breast? The breast is sore, hard, painful before and during menses. This is not a symptom of cancer. But this is a symptom which has to be taken into consideration, because this is a symptom of cancerous diathesis. When there is unexplainable pain, induration, or hardness of the gland, that is a symptom of cancerous diathesis. So besides Laccan and Calicard, Conium is one of the medicines for such conditions. Now many of us, the moment we hear Conium, the first thing that comes in our mind is vertigo. Because Conium has the vertigo of every type. Every type. A very famous author has described Conium that when you find a Conium walking with the wife, usually whenever the wife walks, the wife is usually on the left side. Because then he says that the heart is on the left. And in Hindu mythology, it is said that Bame Biraje Lakshmi. So left में Lakshmi विराजती है, इसलिए wife walks in the left. But that author says that in case of Conium, you will find that wife is walking on the right side. Because every time the person looks to the left, there is vertigo. Now, question is not vertigo, because the symptoms of vertigo, you can see that whenever the person is lying or whenever he is trying to turn, especially to the left, the question is vertigo in whom? Who is having this vertigo? Because that is the art of homeopathy. Homeopathy cannot be given on the basis of particular symptoms. A particular symptom can make you think of a medicine, but you have to decide that what is the symptom which is ultimately becoming the basis for selection of that medicine. And that has been very well included in Allen's keynote. That is why Allen's became so popular and widely accepted. Because even when he is talking about vertigo, he is describing it. In the end, you say, but whose vertigo? Vertigo of old people. Or vertigo associated with ovarian and uterine complaint. So there can be a person who is having some uterine complaint, some mammy complaint, breast disorder, ovarian disorder, whatever may be the name of the disease. And then that person is having vertigo of this nature. Then when we can prescribe Conium. It will be very wrong to prescribe Conium just because we got this vertigo. Further, Allen talks about cough. And this cough is because it is coming from the throat and deeper. There is a sensation that there is something dry and that is making the person to cough, but not cough in a regular way, but cough in a spasmodic way, in paroxysmal way, in episodic way. So in that way, the person coughs. But again, I would like to draw your attention to this wonderful way in which Allen has constructed the book. That cough is in whom? The cough is especially during pregnancy. It can be given to any person having these symptoms. But if it is especially during pregnancy, then it becomes more wonderful. About headache, though Alan has not given much, but Boric has given some wonderful symptoms of headache. Headache stupefying with nausea and vomiting of mucus with the feeling as a foreign body under the skin. Now we all know that when this is stupefying with nausea and vomiting, this is usually a headache which is associated either with the bilious headache or an headache that is happening in a person after an episode of drinking and late night watching, and then we can think of bryonia or nagvomika. But Conium doesn't drink. And then this person is having this stupefying, the whole head becomes heavy. The person wants to vomit. And sometimes this pressure. And this headache, though it is not of a gastric origin, but it's worse after a meal. And I have given this last symptom because see because there are many particular symptoms which has its modalities opposite to each other. So they are not to be confused when we are talking about one symptom, so that modality has to be given. When we are talking about the person, then general modalities has to be given. So painful spasm of the person, symptoms of gastric ulcer, but it is amelioration from eating. And if you immediately eat something, there may be amelioration. But after sometimes, after a few hours after eating, there will be again pain. So eating in the case of painful spasm, ameliorate, but eating in case of headache, aggravate. As we said that in the first two paragraphs, Alan has said about the old persons, old maid, bachelors, and what is their symptomatology. I cannot give Conium to any old person that I see. The symptom that comes, that draws my attention to Conium. And what is the most commonest thing, especially in people who are living in metropolitan cities, not moving around, having a sedentary life by choice or by force. Sometimes when the child grows up and he's taking care of the parent, then the first thing he makes sure is that the parent should not move much. Aap aaram kari. You should take rest. You have worked so hard. Not knowing that this is going to cause more problem. And the first thing that the person develops is hypertrophy or prostate. And the person remains same. He is psoriatic, he is chilly, he is lean thin, he is having rigid muscular fiber, scrofulous, affection of the gland, prostate being a gland, is having enlargement. And there the common symptoms, these are the difficulty in voiding urine, flows, and then stop. It can be in case of male, it can be due to associated with the prostate, or in case of female, it can be associated with the uterine affection. There are some symptoms of the menses. We have already seen that a conium is more suitable to ladies who are suffering from scanty menses. Suppose she is in climactic or post-climactic. So she may not have menses now, but if we get a history that she had a history of scanty menses, then conium is the medicine. If the CD had profuse menses, then calcarea card is the medicine. So this tendency tells us about the various medicines. So what we get here is feeble, suppressed, too late, scanty, short duration, with rash or small red pimples. And very interesting, conium is psoriatic and conium is chilly. And this chilliness does not always mean that I want covering. This chilliness can be manifested in different way. In case of conium, it is manifested by even by putting hand in the cold water. Rain is there, And then the lady looks out of the window, wonderful rain. She takes her hand and tries to catch the falling rain. And that is enough to cause the suppression of menses. While in case of female, if the feet is the cause, then the problem is the medicine is pulsating. And leukorrhea, we have this special type of leukorrhea, acrid, bloody, milky, profuse, thick, but this is intermittent. There is a time-specific leukorrhea. This leukorrhea has to occur 10 days. If it is a headache, then it has to be after 15 days. Every 15 days there is a headache or quotidian headache. Now there are some very interesting sexual symptoms in conium macula. In both the cases, conium is used. A person who never had sexual interaction, Bal Brahmachari, never married, never had sexual interaction, male or female, and then the person develops certain disease, in that also we can think of conium maculatum. Or a person who is having regular married life, conjugal life, and then the wife or the husband passes away. So regular sexual intercourse, and then after that there is sudden deprivation or suppression and there is no sexual intercourse, sudden stoppage. Then again conium comes. Or if there is a person who is overindulgent into sex, and then if that person suppresses, suffers from different diseases, you can think again of conium. But what will be the disease as far as the sexual sphere is considered? The person will have too much of desire, but inability to perform. And this inability to perform and too much of desire, mostly in old persons, then conium is to be thought of. And in case of young persons, this too much or overexcitement sometimes is so manifested that even by talking to a female, looking to a female, thinking of a female is enough to cause seminal discharges. And that person, if the person is antithoric, the person is lean thin, then you can think of conium. So Allen says bad effects of suppressed sexual desire, suppressed menses, non-gratification of sexual instinct, or just the opposite, excessive indulgence. When we are talking of causation, let us see if there are other causations as well. Now Clark gives very interestingly, conium as a medicine after blows or falls. There was a very interesting discussion once I had with Dr. Khan, and he enlightened me that a person is having injury or a fall with a blunt instrument, and then he is having sore limb, bruised feeling, then you can give arnica, but arnica is not an artistic prescription in that case. But if the person has no history of injury, no history of fall, no history of mechanical injury, but is having this pain as if beaten, sore limb bruise, then arnica is better indicated. So in conium also we get this sore limb feeling, bruised feeling all over the body. That can be due to cause of blows or falls, contusion. Conium is specially to be thought when there is injury of the spine, sudden jerking. So friends, whoever like me, whoever has history of riding too much of motorcycle once, There is a constant injury of the spine because of the wonderful road that we have. And later on, if the symptoms of conium come, then let us remember conium. So effects of grief, of overstudy, sexual excess, or total abstinence, overwork, and then cold, snowy air and spring. And boric, as I was saying, that ill effects of bruise and shocks to spine. So this injury, jerking, which gives a shock, which gives an injury to the spine, in long run, in old days, maybe I will require, or people like me will require conium maculatum. So as I was saying, that Clark is saying that there are many young people who are engaged to females, and whenever they were talking or going near their partner, there was emission, premature emission, and he has saying that I have saved many a life. Emission on the slightest stimulus, such as merely being in society of women, is very typical. Many engaged young women have been helped by this remedy. So, as I was saying, that in old persons, lasciviousness is there. But because it is conium, so there is lack of energy in coition. The inability is there. Now, inability, you have to differentiate. When there is premature ejaculation, then comes medicine like argentum, like lycopodium. But here the problem is lack of energy from the person as a whole, not only of the sexual organ. Then we can think of conium. Now, conium again is a wonderful medicine having wonderful symptoms of photophobia, eye symptoms. It has severe aversion to light. And most interestingly, that can occur without inflammation. That can be due to overwork of eye, or that can happen just because of it is a symptom produced by conium. So aversion to light without inflammation, worse using light in artificial, worse using eyes in artificial light, from students remedy for night work, but there is intense photophobia. And many a student's career has been saved by conium maculatum. I personally can give you innumerable cases where the person was having exam, and just before exam, the person was unable to perform study because he cannot look at the light. There was no inflammation. And conium was given in low doses, repeated. Ptosis of the eyes, like Costi, like Sapien, like Calica, when the whole eye muscle is involved, then you can think of conium. There is another sphere of conium maculatum. Sweat. Now, sweat as soon as the person closes the eye, like cinchona. But cinchona will have associated history of malaria or malarial affection. Conium will not have, but there is a specific odor of conium, sour odor, having stains, and this sweat day and night as soon as one sleeps. And what is the nature of the sleep? The sleep is always unrefreshing. Usually when we sleep, we think that sleep is going to make us more fresh. So when we get up, we are fresh. But in case of conium, the person when he gets up, he is more tired than before. And he is giving him restless sleep, diseases, robbers, danger, death, mutilation, all these frightful dreams. Yes. has given us this wonderful symptom of heel pain. If we have to keep in mind when we are reading this, we have to keep in mind who the person Conium is. So in old persons, if there is a heel pain, calcaneal spur, as if it is going to pierce through the muscles, then we can think of Conium maculatum. Hahnemann has given another very interesting symptom. Hahnemann usually has not written anywhere name of the disease except in certain places. And when he's talking about Conium, he's describing its antisoric nature. Then he is talking about morning asthma. Now, whenever we talk of morning asthma, the first medicine that comes in mind is calicard or thorinum, and sometimes arsenic if it late into night. And then you will see the similarity that calicard, thorinum, conium, all these are antisoric. So if we just think of morning asthma, we will be confused. But if we think of the other symptoms, then there will be no confusion because conium is a different person, thorinum is a different person, calicard is different. So the whole body, constitution, characteristics, generalities, all are totally different. So many times I very often hear from youngsters that there is so much of confusion in homeopathic prescribing. And this confusion arises when we think only of a part of the symptom or a particular symptom. But when we think of the person as a whole, then simply there is no confusion. I found this very interesting symptom of conium. Well, Allosocotina was taught to us by Dr. S.K. Dubey. And he used to describe Allosocotina by saying that whenever the person of Allosocotina comes out of toilet, bathroom, after passing stool, so when you look at the person, the first thing that will come in your mind is he was having a war or a fight inside or what? Because he is all sweaty, all weak after passing stool. And pain, etc. are all gone, which was very much there. But in case of Conium maculatum, the character of the stool of Allosocotina is different, and character of the stool of conium, because conium is more constipated than having diarrhea. Usually suffer more from constipation than diarrhea. Allosocotina very often suffers from loose stool, mucoid stool, and we have other medicine like veratrum, arsenic, and argentum nitricum. They also have this weakness after stool. Now let us see some of the modalities. Allen gives at night, lying down, turning or rising up, in bed, and celibacy. Celibacy means abstinence from sex. And these are the aggravating factors. Boric, he is saying that it is aggravation before and during menses, and better while fasting. Now that is a very interesting thing. Conium maculatum is better when not having food, fasting. Whenever we think of this, then another fasting, better while fasting, then another medicine comes in our mind, which is also having better while fasting. And like conium, that medicine is also lean, thin, and like conium, that medicine also is having eating well and losing flesh. And like conium, that medicine also has antisoric background. But conium wants sun, warmth. But natramur has all the aggravation from sun and warmth. So both have better by warmth, fasting. But if not anything else, there is one symptom that will differentiate conium from natramur, and that is natramur wants tight clothing. You will find natramur wearing tight pants, tight shirt, tight ganji, whereas conium has aversion to anything tight, will not wear anything tight. So Bori gives these modality while fasting in the dark from letting limbs hang down, motion and pressure. As I was saying, conium cannot bear the pressure of tight clothing, whereas natramur wants to wear tight clothing. Conium has wonderful relation with anything alcoholic. It will not tolerate any alcoholic drink when healthy. When the person is healthy, he will not tolerate anything alcoholic. Wine is something which is prepared from fruits with little bit of alcohol, a very small quantity, more as a preservative. And conium sensitivity to alcohol is so much that even when wine is mixed with water, usually people drink wine directly. But even when it is mixed with water, that also is intolerant to conium. Intoxication after having taken smallest quantity of spiritual, even wine and water, that is not possible. Slightest quantity produces intoxication. Now, another very interesting aspect and a very, very important aspect of Allen's Guinness is its relationship part. Because many of the hidden gems are here in the relationship. In the relationship part of conium, we find that he is asking us to compare conium with arnica and rustux in contusion, and asterias and arsenic in cancer, calcarea and sorinum in glandular swelling. And he's saying that conium is followed well by sorinum in tumor of mammary and certain malignancy. So after conium, sorinum is a better medicine for tumors of mammary and threatening malignancy. What is to be kept in mind, I would like to draw your attention here is that both conium and sorinum are very, very prominent and deep acting antisocial. So cancer can be soric, cancer can be psychotic, cancer can be syphilitic. Sorinum is to be given, last line, sorinum in tumors of mammary with threatening malignancy. Allen. Clark, those who have been taking conium, sorinum, it should not be given conium. So before sorinum, conium is okay. But if it is to be given after, then it is usually disagrees. There is a concept. Before I conclude the conium and come to the Allen's keynote part, there is a concept called SSC, or synchronized symptom complex. It is very simple. It is nothing very special. time in a meaningful way. Then they together form a complex which points to a medicine. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Audible, visible, both.
Thank you, sir.
Visible both. Correct. बस बंद कर दो.
So, as I was saying, that these words do not indicate any medicine. But when they occur together in a synchronized way, then we have a medicine. So, debility, hypochondriasis, urinary trouble, weakened memory, sexual debility, when they occur together, then you have a medicine.
अम्मा पता कितने लगना? बता दो ना को अम्मा कितने लगना?
Please mute. Please mute.
Just a moment, sir. Yeah.
Priyan.
हाँ सर, just a moment. SN Singh sir, नमस्कार.
नमस्कार नमस्कार. Thank you.
आप जो भी बोल रहे थे वो भी नहीं बोल पाएंगे. अब आप आ गए.
मैं तो आपको सुन के मैं आई स्टोन्स बहुत सुन के बहुत अच्छा लगा, बहुत अच्छा लगा. थैंक यू.
अरे अब आप लोगों के सामने क्या बोले हम?
नहीं नहीं, रियली इट वाज अ वंडरफुल प्रेजेंटेशन. प्लीज कैरी ऑन.
Thank you so much. So that was about conium maculatum. Now let us see. Already we have discussed it to some extent.
बंद कर दिया ना.
Where to, how to read Allen's keynote. So each remedy must be read from the full name of the remedy to the last line of relation. That means aggravation and amelioration, everything has to be read. Because the most important characteristic feature, the field of application, may be found under the heading of relationship, aggravation or amelioration, you don't know. First line or the first paragraph, as we have already discussed, it covers the whole field or action of the remedy. And then, if we take this example, then the first paragraph of pulsatilla suits to nervous temperament, women of a sensitive, easily excited nature, dark hair, skin, mild disposition, quick to perceive, rapid in execution. This is the first remedy, gives the whole field or act of action of remedy. So this paragraph of Allen's keynote gives you an idea about what pulsatilla is. Then next 3 or 4 lines or paragraph refers to the characteristic or guiding feature of the medicine. For example, these are the lines which is taken from Medorine. They are giving you the basic general guideline for constitutional effect of maltreated and suppressed gonorrhea, when the best selected remedy fails to relieve or permanently improve. For persons suffering from gout, rheumatism, neuralgia, diseases of old women. What is interesting to note here is that in the first paragraph, he is talking about metorrhinum in the light that he is saying it is to be given when there is a maltreated or suppressed gonorrhea only. And when a medicine has been given for a person who is having maltreated gonorrhea and that medicine is not working, not producing the relief, then you should give metorrhinum. And in the next paragraph, the last line, he is talking about anything, rheumatism, gout, paralysis, etc., which can be traced to a psychotic origin. As we all know, that psychosis is not limited only to gonorrhea. So in the first paragraph, he was talking about gonorrhea, then he's further increasing the base and talking that no, not only gonorrhea, it can be anything which is of psychotic origin. And in the third paragraph of the same medicine, metorrhinum, the last line, with or without psychotic origin. So a deep acting medicine, this is why Allen is a gold mine. That in the first paragraph he is saying only gonorrhea, and then he is saying no, anything psychotic. And then he is saying that if the symptoms point, then with or without psychotic origin, it doesn't matter. And in the rest of the part of Allen's keynote for any medicine, they describe pathological or clinical condition. During reading the paragraph, the reader must understand the point of differentiation, peculiar uncommon characteristic symptom, particular location, particular modality, its relation with other symptom or condition. In relationship and modalities, these are the most important areas which will guide you in selection of the remedy. Let us not forget 3 punctuation marks, which is very important, 4, while reading Allen's scheme. One is comma. Comma means nothing special. Comma, as in any English sentence, comma means which is related to the first and further. So in Allen also, while describing a symptom, he is using comma. But then we have semicolon. When he is using semicolon in the same paragraph, then that means related to the same, the whole paragraph may be related to the same, but after every semicolon, a new symptom starts. And in many a place, you will find hyphen, dash. That means, in contrary to what has been said before, the opposite view, just the reverse view, that is given after dash. Another very interesting and unique thing of Allen is that in the end of the Allen, you find an index where different page numbers are given. The first page that is given is of the main medicine where it is described. And then further pages are given, page numbers are given, where Conium has been given in bracket in relation with some other medicine. And in order to complete the study of any medicine, it is very important that not only we should study Allen's keynote in light of the main medicine where it is given, but also we should search and compare the other parts where it is given. I will give you some examples. Conium maculatum, if you see the index part, then you will find that it is given, the first page number given is 106. 106 means the conium, main conium medicine is given in page number 106. But after 106, we find page number 41. Now, if we open the page number 41, then we open apocynon. And in the apocynon, we find there is a symptom in bracket, it is written conium maculatum. So you have to study from conium, you have to go backward and see if there is any semicolon, then it has to be studied after. But in apocynon part, there is no semicolon. So this whole symptom, cough, short and dry, or deep and loose during pregnancy, this whole symptom has to be compared with conium maculatum. Again, the basic thing has to be kept in mind that when we are comparing, our comparison should not be limited to this one symptom. Our comparison must include the whole medicine. The whole medicine of apocynon has to be compared with the whole medicine of conium. We have already studied conium, who is antisoric, lean, thin, rigid muscular fiber, chilly, having cough, and cough was of a particular character. And in apocynon, who is apocynic? Who is having suppressed discharges? The first line of apocynon says excrement diminished, excretion diminished, especially urine and sweat. And this person, when he is having cough and dry cough, if it is a female during pregnancy, cough may be deep or loose, then it is compared with apocynon before giving the medicine. The second page that we find here is page number 52. And what we find in page 52 is Asteria ceruleans. Asteria ceruleans, as you can see in the first line only, that for psychotic diathesis. Whereas while reading conium, what we found, deeply antisoric, Kent has said, Hahnemann has said, and it has to be compared with a antipsychotic. What was conium? Lean, thin, rigid muscular fiber. And what is Asteria? Flabby lymphatic, both having irritable. And then the similarity is easily excited by any emotion, especially by contradiction. So whether it is Asteria having psychotic background or it is conium having soric background, both will be easily excited, cannot bear contradiction. And if you contradict even a slightest bit, the person will become angry, will react. But when the conium will react, conium will become more deeply morose, sad, depressed after excitement. Whereas that is not the case with Asteria ceruleans. This is how it has to be compared continuously. सर रुके क्या?
जैसा अच्छा समझो तुम।
सर हमको तो अब जैसा हुक्म करें, आपके हुक्म पे आए हैं।
आए हैं लेकिन जाइएगा अपनी मर्जी से।
नहीं नहीं सर, आप बताएं, जब बोलिए तब रुक जाएंगे सर।
नहीं कोई बात नहीं, आपको अगर लगता है कि यू सैटिस्फैक्टरी डिस्क्राइब, नो प्रॉब्लम। अगर लगता है सैटिस्फैक्शन बोल दीजिए। और
ऐसा 10-15 मिनट टाइम है और?
हाँ है।
बड़ा तकलीफ में बोल रहे हैं आप। ठीक है सर, तो हम 10-15 मिनट में वाइंड अप करते हैं।
ठीक है ठीक है
जी सर।
पेशेंट है।
हाँ, तो आफ्टर 52 we find next page is 53, and in 53 what we find is the gold, aurum metallicum. And the symptom that Alan has asked us is to compare is oversensitive, colon, not semicolon, colon means he is describing the oversensitiveness, and oversensitive to what? Least contradiction excites wrath. Wrath means severe anger. So like again, aurum metallicum, the person is having oversensitiveness to contradiction, and aurum metallicum like Asterias, and Asterias deeply antipsychotic, aurum metallicum deeply antisyphilitic, Conium deeply antisoric. So all these three medicines are to be compared as far as this least contradiction is considered. So in case of aurum, if you see the first paragraph, then you find describe the person is sanguine, ruddy, black hair, lively, restless, anxious about the future. And that person is having oversensitiveness. That person cannot tolerate least contradiction. Then it will be aurum. Where it's antisoric, then it will be Conium. If it is antipsychotic, then it will be Asterias. Next page we find is 54. He is saying about susceptibility to take cold, that tonsils become inflamed after riding in a cold wind, and it has to be compared with aconite. Same, tonsil become inflamed after riding in cold. Pepper sulf, rust, same. All these medicines have great liability to take cold. And in contrast, he is saying it takes cold from exposure to feet. Hand, we have seen Conium. But when the person is having great liability to take cold, and especially when exposure to feet, then it has to be compared with Conium, Cuprum, and Silicea. And when we have our task do not stop here. Conium, after exposure to cold, what it will have? Cuprum, after exposure to cold, what it will have? And Silicea, after exposure to cold, what it will have. Next page we find is page 54 and 63. The medicine is borax, and in borax the leucorrhea part is to be compared, profuse, albuminous, starchy, for 2 weeks between the catamania. Leucorrhea, see, this is how Alan has to be read. Leucorrhea colon, and then when the conium is written, you have to get backward, then you find the semicolon. After that, you have to read. So leucorrhea, and for 2 weeks between the catamania. And this has to be compared with borax, bovista, and conium. Next is calcarea art. And when we are reading calcarea art about its heart complaints, then we have to compare with conium, glonoin, lithium, pulsatilla, and atomic. Next is China. China, as we have already discussed, the person like conium, China person, sweats profusely during sleep. But conium, mostly at night, cinchona, never at night. Chamomilla. We all know chamomilla, the type of person chamomilla is. And we all know what is the type of person conium is. And then the comparison is runs out after weaning, in bracket. In chamomilla, in case of a nursing woman, a child is being fed and the milk production is more and milk is coming out of the breast, then chamomilla. But in case of conium, there is no child, weaning has already been done, and even after weaning, there is production of milk. And it comes out. Conium, rash before menses, compared with Dulcamara, And when we are talking about conium, then in bracket you have to study during profuse menses. Before menses, dulca mara and conium. But before menses, during menses, belladonna and orphitis. Injury. Chronic effect of mechanical injury. Conium, hamamelis, carboves, natramute. These are the medicine not to be thought of in case of acute effect of medicine. I got injured now and then I will take not usual. Not usual. But if there is a long-term effect, but there are certain medicine which are given both for both the condition, like arnica, of course, acute as well as long-term effect. So hamamelis is a medicine to be compared with conium for chronic effect of injury. Painful nipples, breast swollen, conium, laccan, and helonius. Iodium when extends, cough extends, itching extends through bronchi to nasal cavity. Coccus cacti, conium, phosphorus. Calibrome, nervous during pregnancy, cough during pregnancy, and then the character of cough. And cough is so severe that it threatens abortion. Compared with Cruozot, almost ceases, lochia almost ceases, and then again starts. Breast symptoms to be compared with lac caninum. Lac defloratum, menses is to be compared with conium. Long-lasting effect of conium to be compared with long-lasting effect of ledum palustri. Abnormal sexual desire, lysine, but abstinence is conium. Complaints of mammy, which ulcerates during every menstrual period, mercury. Cough symptoms with nux moisture. Sleep, as I was saying, that conium cannot sleep very comfortably, is more tired when getting up than asleep. And this is to be compared with the group of medicine Macard, Bryonia, Conium, Heper, Opium, Sulfur. Sleeps more tired on rising than when retired. Sambucus, Silesia take cold from exposure of feet. Staphysagria, when leaving hard nodosity, somebody has a sty or chalaja or eyelids of upper lid anywhere, and then it has gone. The sty is gone, and after it has gone, the hard nodosity is there after their wake, means after that. That hardness is still there. So in order to remove that, we can think of conium, staphysagria, and tuberculinum. Conium is not always lean and thin, but may become lean and thin, losing flesh while eating. And a group of medicine, please note that all of them are antisoric. Abrotenum, calcarea, conium, iodium, natrum, and of course, tuberculinum. Drinking wine like zinc metallicum and aluminum. There is another part which we will leave to some other time. So once more, I thank Dr. Khan sir for giving me this opportunity.